Hare Krishna, everyone. Then with Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadkamlam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Satam Sajivam साधवेतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानंद माधवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य ईश्वरम् गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for joining. So let me open the verse. So any questions from last time? Last time we talked about dharma. When Krishna says Sarva Dharman Parityaja, what does he mean by the word dharma? Is there any questions, doubts about that discussion, or any realizations came later on that you wanted to share? Questions in mind?
Hare Krishna. I just want to say that I really like the conclusion statement, the one-line statement that you made last time. That was the only dharma is that whatever pleases Krishna, Krishna is dharma. I think if you just remember that, that is really helpful.
Yes. Yes, so whatever pleases Krishna, we said dharman tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. The one that pleases Krishna, the one that is his will, his wish, the one that reawakens the love of God within us, that is dharma. Who else wants to share? Since we are very few people, I want everyone to actively participate. So maybe Rekha Mataji, Namita Mataji, you can share since you are regularly reading Bhagavad Gita. I want to hear your reflections and thoughts about this. Okay, we have a lot to cover, so please keep sharing. If you're not available, then let me know.
Mataji, like just a little bit, I would like to say, dharma, when we talk about dharma, I think what Prabhuji said and what you said in the last one line covers everything. And I honestly believe that whatever Krishna pleases, that's what our dharma is. That's exactly what we need to follow. If we can just keep remembering that, keep that in the center of our mind always, that we got to do what Krishna would like us to do, what Krishna wants us to do, what Prabhupada has prescribed in his scriptures, is that we just got to do what Krishna would want us to do, or what Krishna pleases. So I think that's all describes dharma, is whatever Krishna's, if we need to get his mercy, then we need to follow him. We need to, if we can just keep that in the center of mind, that's exactly summarize everything in that one. We got to do what Krishna wants us to do, what Krishna would like us to do.
Okay. So very easy to say we will do what Krishna wants us to do. How do you know? We have not, really, Krishna is not sitting next to us telling us. He was sitting next to Arjun telling him what to do. He's not sitting next to you or next to me telling us what to do. So anyone can say that, for Arjun, it's very easy to follow the dharma, to fight that war, because actually Krishna was right there driving his chariot. But I cannot perceive Krishna. I'm not that advanced. I'm not that pure. I don't have that Krishna prem or love. How do I know what Krishna wants? What is his will? What is his wish? So what do you think?
Mataji, based upon on what we are reading, I think Bhagavad Gita is our manual. So based upon the manual, what we are reading from this through, that's what, to me, that's what tells me what Krishna would want.
Okay, yeah,
Does that make sense?
Based on what Bhagavad Gita is reading. But, scriptures can be misinterpreted, Krishna's words so you're saying follow scriptures. But many people fight wars based on scriptures. The terrorism starts all from misinterpretation of scriptures. Is that right or not? Yes?
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, people misinterpret scriptures, distort them according to their understanding, and say that, our God wants us to kill these people because these people are of a different faith, or these people are of a different color, or Hitler said kill all the Jews, or somebody says they are uh, uh, different color, so we can make them our slaves. We are superiors to them because there should be white dominance. So many things. So the scriptures can be misinterpreted and distorted to fit one's own perception, understanding, and intelligence, to fit in our own box of limited understanding. So then we can't really just go by scriptures. So then what should we do?
Yeah, so and definitely along with the association of devotees, our gurus, we gotta keep that in mind and follow them too. I think that definitely makes another big difference. Is in an association of devotees, you learn more. Chanting makes you focus more. Shows your pures your heart. So it's a combination of all different things.
Yes, Mati. So yes, so it's not it's a trio. It's a
Can I ask maybe Avneen whether he can say the trio? They probably know it.
they said they're not available to participate actively, so
Okay.
we're just listening. So I won't engage them. But that is what dharma is, the one that is the wish of devotees and guru. So guru, sadhu, shastra. And shastra is hard to understand without guru and sadhu. So without devotees and guru, you cannot really understand scriptures. And scriptures can be Krishna's words through scriptures can be misinterpreted by people. And that's why without guru and sadhu, scriptures don't mean anything. So many people will say, oh, we have read Bhagavad Gita, we know everything. Okay, so who taught it to you? Unless somebody taught it to you, no, you don't know anything. So somebody has to you have to submit to someone, to learn it from someone, to understand its proper import, to understand the heart of Krishna. And that is why Bhagavad Gita is called the confidential knowledge. That is why it is called the most confidential knowledge, because everybody has access to it, but nobody can understand it unless you submit to the proper authority, unless you submit to those that are already sitting at the feet of Krishna, unless you submit to those who have already heard it from Krishna. So unless you come in that disciplic succession, unless you plug yourself into that electric wire which is carrying the current, your bulb will not light up. So just like there is a light bulb, you have to plug it into the channel, the proper wiring, because that wiring is coming from the powerhouse, from the original source. The light is coming. The light will not come to the bulb unless it is plugged into the electric wire, right, into the proper powerhouse. So Krishna is the original powerhouse of all knowledge, but we cannot access that powerhouse of knowledge directly unless we plug ourselves into that wire, the whole wiring that is going from the powerhouse to the plug. So that's only when the bulb will light up. So we are not able to understand what dharma is because we have not submitted to the instructions of Guru and devotees. So what is the instruction of Prabhupada? What is the process that he has given us? Unless we follow that process, we will not understand what dharma is and which dharma to give up and which dharma to adopt in our life. So this is what we talked about. Dharma is the will of God, path of God, love of God, what he wants us to do. And how do you know what is his will? It is not your own will. So if you remember in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjun was trying to do his own will. Arjun wanted Krishna to do his wish in the beginning, that take my chariot in the middle, let me see what's going on, let me see what can be done. He was in control. He thought, I am the knower and I can decide what needs to be done. And everyone is like that. We all think we know what is best for us. But what we know is based on very limited intelligence and understanding. Okay. So, and dharma may not coincide with that limited understanding and knowledge. It may not coincide with our sense of purpose. We said that one of the definition of dharma is what is our sense of purpose, what is our sense of duty, or what is our values in this world. So this is what we read last time, that dharma sometimes means religion or code of conduct, rituals, values, morals, righteousness, our sense of duty in this world, right? That we have assigned to this body, that we have been given through this body. But true dharma may not coincide with this, with the sense of purpose or with the swadharma. So that may not be Sanatan Dharma. So Swadharma may not be Sanatan Dharma. So some people think, oh, charity is my dharma, philanthropy is my dharma, karma, my job is my dharma, my hobby is my dharma. No, none of those are your dharma, because if they do not coincide with the wish of God, they are dharma only as long as they are pleasing to Krishna. But if they are nurturing your love for Krishna. But if you're working all day like a donkey and you come home tired and you have no time to devote to any of the activities to develop love for Krishna, then your karma is actually going against the dharma. So that job that you are doing like a slave, that job is actually taking you away from your Sanatan Dharma. So that is actually a very ugra karma. So it's not really helping you develop your nurture your love for God. It's not really pleasing to Krishna. It's not really, it may be a prescribed duty, but prescribed duty has to be done in a balanced way with the Sanatan Dharma. So whatever activities you're doing, if they stand in the way of Sanatan Dharma, then they are actually not pleasing and they do not help. They are very temporary. They are very short-term and very narrow vision of you. So, like all of you are here in the class, this is such an important verse that we are discussing, and it is very disappointing that only like 5 or 6 people show up. Why? Because everybody has a sense of purpose. So everybody is thinking, oh, I have something more important to do. So if I have time, I will join the class, but I have something more important going on. So that is their sense of purpose. But the sense of purpose is conflicting with developing love of God within you. So if that sense of purpose, whatever you're doing, is conflicting with your eternal purpose of pleasing God, of loving, of developing love for Godhead, of going back to Godhead, then that sense of purpose, that sense of duty that you have for that body is actually causing more harm than help. So this is our short-term vision, that we think we do not give priority to any of the Sanatan Dharma activities. We keep them on side. If we have time, we'll do them, or we'll do them on the side. So not really true priority. So if you really give priority to Krishna, then Krishna will also prioritize you and reveal himself to you. So the reason most of, even those that are trying to achieve Krishna are following things very, very loosely. They're following Krishna and Prabhupada's and devotees' instructions very loosey-goosey, very loosely. So nobody is really truly following any of the instructions, and that's why we are not able to understand our true purpose, understand our true dharma in this world. And that's why Krishna is not revealing us. We don't get any realizations. We don't get any understanding. The bulb is not lighting up. So bulb is not lighting up because you're not really connecting into the plug at all. So that is, that is a dismal situation of this world, that we have very distorted vision of purpose, very distorted goals that actually take us away from Krishna. All the activities that we do in this world, we have arranged our life in such a way that we are going away from Krishna. We're giving priority to every other activity but Krishna conscious activities. And so we are never really able to understand Krishna. He does not reveal himself. We don't get any realizations, any understanding, any knowledge, and love. To bahut dur ki baat hai. So that's why Krishna says parityajya. So the next word comes in the verse which says parityajya, sarva dharman parityajya. So give up all these various activities, various duties, so-called purposes you have assigned to this body that are wasting your time, that are taking you away from Krishna. Give up, parityajya. Krishna says very loudly here, sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all these type of activities. And it is hard. I understand it is very hard to give up, because we have such a strong sense of bodily consciousness. We have so much bodily attachment that it is very hard to give up those activities, those shallow purposes that we have assigned to our life, those money making endeavors, or fitness related, or whatever, travel, or these so many things we have assigned to this body, so many ways we are occupying our time, that we are not able to give them up. So giving up in the beginning can be very hard, actually, because we have so many notions, we have so many understandings of this life that we have acquired throughout, that we are not able to give them up. So we don't want to give up anything for Krishna. So when Krishna says Sarv Dharman Parityaja, most people are not able to give up anything. People are not even able to carve a few minutes in their life, a few minutes to chant, few minutes to read, few minutes to hear a class, few minutes to offer a flower or lamp to the Lord, few minutes to say a prayer. Nothing. We're not able to spare any time. We cannot give up anything for Krishna. Why? Because we don't know who he is. We don't know who God is. We don't know what is our relationship with the God. So why give up anything for someone we don't know? So since we don't know God, since we don't know our relationship with him, since we don't know truly who we are, we cannot give up anything for him. So that is why this verse comes in the end of Bhagavad Gita, so that we can understand our relationship with God. We can understand who he is and what is our relationship with him, and that we are not this body, and all these bodily activities that you're wasting your time on are not the most important thing you're doing in your life. The most important activities that you're actually doing are very rare, and those are just very few spiritual activities, Krishna conscious activities, that are giving you some eternal credit. But those activities are very few and far in between in our life. So that's why this verse comes towards the end, so that by now we have understood who Krishna is and why it is important to give up those other dharmas or all other activities and purposes, and just solely listen to Krishna's words and Krishna's instructions and follow them. But yes, in the beginning, it can be very hard, because we see the world through our belief systems, through our understandings, through whatever the world has taught us, through our perceptions. And we have concocted various ideas about this life. It's called manodharma. So we are following not Krishna, the dharma that Krishna propagates. We are following manodharma, concocted by our mind. So our mind has concocted many, many ideas, and we are following those ideas. They are the so-called duties that we are, so-called roles that we are playing in this life. And we are just so busy in role play that we have forgotten the real purpose of this human life, and just busy role playing, like a child who's playing with the dolls, and so busy playing like a mom or dad in a made up thing, where she's the mom and she's taking care of a doll, and the doll is a child, and she has made a house, and she's cooking food for her. And in the end, if you think, all that does not matter, because none of that accomplished anything. It was just a role play for the child. And so we have been given various roles in this body. Yes, we should take care of those roles and duties in a judicious way, intelligently, but not foolishly, not in such a way that they occupy our entire time, so that we have no time to give to our eternal purpose, our real dharma. So when you align your duties or roles with Krishna, when you work in such a way that everything becomes spiritual for his pleasure, for his gratification, not for Atmendriya Vancha, but Krishnendriya Priti Vancha. So then it becomes love for Krishna. So, and we took some verses also about the definition of dharma, that sa vai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakte radhokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati sa vai pumsa paro dharmo. That is called the param dharma for all living entities. Yato bhaktir adhokshaje. Those activities, those roles, those duties, yato bhaktir adhokshaje. That gives us the love of God. That is the dharma. And that gives us uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service to the Lord. That is the true dharma. Everything else can be given up. Parityajya. So that's the meaning of the first line. Which are the dharma Krishna is asking us to give up? And parityajya, why he wants us to give up? Because they're waste of time, and they're taking up all our, they're wasting all our precious human life. So let's take some reflections on this. Who wants to share? At least a couple of people, if they can share. Priyanka Mataji, would you like to share something? Amita Mataji, Rekha Mataji, Nirbhi Prabhu. So what do you think in your life? What is the hold? Why are you not able to give up? Krishna says very clearly, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, but we are not able to give up. What do you think is the hold up?
Mataji, what I feel is because our mind, which kind of blocks it, because we're not able to go beyond our limited thinking.
So what is the solution?
Things.
How to overcome the mind, how to go beyond that mind and intelligence? What is the solution for that?
I think just evaluating and reasoning and kind of slowly
Because that's
getting.
also a function of mind and intelligence, right? So
That's
mind will fool you. Mind will again play tricks and games on you and say, no, this is not important. What you're doing is more important. What maximum 99% of people are doing has to be right. Come on, Priyanka. The 99% of people are doing this in the world. It has to be right. How can you listen to 0.1% of the people? Only 0.001% of the people are reading Bhagavad Gita. How can you listen to them? That's what mind will say. Let's do what 99% people are doing.
Yeah, I think it has to be like self-realization and come through that.
Sure. So yeah, so I'm asking for what will help you overcome your mind. And Mataji said rightly, your mind is the greatest obstacle, mind and intelligence. And Krishna has given answer about how to overcome mind in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. So he has given us all the tools. That's why I was saying this verse comes in the end, because he has given us all the tools already in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says in chapter 6 that mind can be overcome by practice and detachment, which means that just like we eat every day because we have to keep our body healthy, just like we work every day because we need a constant inflow of cash, right? Because we need to keep this world running, so we have to work every day. Just like we shower every day because otherwise our body will get dirty, will accumulate dirt on us, and every day it will get dirty. Similarly, we have to control our mind intelligence every day by constant practice, by daily practice. So by chanting of the names, not just Sunday class, not just Sunday one time chanting, not just going to church once in the week, but every day. Just like you eat 3 times a day, chant a certain number of times in a day. Okay, hear a certain amount of time in a day. Like if you decide, I want to hear for 30 minutes Krishna's words every day, I want to recite Bhagavad Gita 10 minutes a day, or Srimad Bhagavatam 10 minutes a day. I want to put prasadam in my body so that my mind and intelligence will get purified. And then self-realization will happen. Then you will be able to overcome mind and intelligence. So unless you train your mind, unless you train your intelligence with Swadhyaya, with Guru, Sadhu Shastra, with the process given by Prabhupada, process given by devotees and acharyas, it is very difficult to overcome the mind. And mind will definitely defeat you. Mind and intelligence will overcome you. They're designed in such a way that they will overcome you. So we have been given a body that will fail you. The real you, the self, the soul will be defeated by this body, mind, and intelligence unless we decide to overcome them. So unless the soul decides to take charge, it get defeated by this matter. So
That means again the comes of the balance. You have to keep a balance of your activities, your day-to-day activities, and the Krishna consciousness. Both the things, if you keep in balance, then you can manage with both. Isn't it?
yes, you have to
Yes.
maximize as much of spiritual activities as you can. So the
Yes.
more
Yes.
fallen we are, the more spiritual activities we should do.
Yes.
And yes, balance is needed, but what happens is we end up paying more importance to the other activities and not spiritual activities. They always take a back seat. They always go on the back burner. So
Hare Krishna.
yes,
Hare Krishna. Yeah, that's a very important point. But really, in our mind, when we talk about balance, we are actually not balancing, because our mind will tell us that actually giving half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours to Krishna is too much. I'm overdoing it by doing that. Krishna has given us 24 hours, right? Krishna has given us 24 hours. And out of those 24 hours, I can make a list of what to do for 25 hours without putting Krishna consciousness in the middle of it, because that is what the mind tends to do. So we have to realize that propensity of the mind and really ask us, are we even giving 2 hours, 1 hour, half an hour every day, right? Are we really doing that? We have to ask ourselves that question when this question of balance comes, because what we tend to do, what our mind tends to do, is say, no, 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 you are overdoing it. You are giving 1 hour to Krishna. Oh, you are not doing this, that. You will give us 1,000 excuses of what you are not doing. You may spend 2 hours, 3 hours watching movie. We may spend so much time looking at Facebook, not even realizing, looking at shorts or whatever nonsense, right? But when we think about Krishna, oh, it's half an hour, time is up, got to get up, otherwise I'm missing my other duties. So just wanted to mention that. Hare Krishna.
Can I add something to it?
yes, Mataji.
Also, I feel the reason mind is doing this because we haven't put complete faith in Krishna. Because if we had faith in Krishna or
Yes.
something, then we would have put that time.
Yes. Yes, Mataji,
So-
very wonderful point. Very, very wonderful point. So yes, it's also about faith. So we'll come to that. Let's move. So let's move along the verse, and this point will also come. So next, Krishna is saying, Ma mekam sharanam raja. So today we are going to spend time on this portion. Ma mekam sharanam raja. So first of all, if you see very clearly, Krishna is saying, Ma mekam, mine only my shelter you take, only take my shelter. So he's not taking Brahma's shelter, Durga Devi's shelter, some other person. Ma mekam, meaning Krishna's shelter. Okay, Ma mekam sharanam raja. So he's saying that you come only to my shelter. This is the principle. Actually, this is practiced even in material world. Like, when we are in medicine, when we do CPR, right? Cardiopulmonary resuscitation, there is a leader. There is a leader who gives duties to everyone. So he says, you go and do this, you go and do that, right? And that person, it's not confusing them. He's only asking that person to go bring the defibrillator. You go and start the IV line. You go and bring the epinephrine. So the duties are very well assigned. So there is no confusion that two people are going to bring the same thing and something gets missed out, right? So the duties are very well assigned. So when we talk about Sharanagati, it is very clear in Bhakti Shastras that we have to go in the Sharan of only and only Krishna. If you are going into the Sharan of Devi Devtas and all, then Krishna says, okay, they are good, they can take, maybe they want to go there, maybe they want to go to the planets of Devi Devtas, maybe they are, in good hands. So I won't watch over them, let them watch over. So if you really want the shelter of the Purn Purushottam Param Paramatma Bhagwan himself, then Krishna says, then Ma mekam sharanam raja. Then tell me what your problem is, what you want, what your desires are, what your prayers are, what your dreams are, fears are. Then you open your heart with Krishna. So Ma mekam sharanam raja. And he says that in the entire Bhagavad Gita, multiple times, he says the word Mam. So word Mam is very important. For example, he says, माम चायो व्याभिचारेण भक्ति योगेन sevate, right? He says, जो मुझे व्याभिचारी bhakti, by ananya bhakti, by keval bhakti, the one who approaches me, to that person I'm easily attained. That person can understand me completely. Maam chayo vyabhicharena. Vyabhicharena means, so there is a word called avyabhichari. Avyabhichari is used for those men or women who cheat on their spouse. Like this lady is a vyabhichari, or this man is a vyabhichari purush, meaning he's cheating on his wife. So जो cheaters होते हैं उनको अव्याभिचारी बोलते हैं. So vyabhichari means somebody who's very loyal to a certain person. So mam chayo vyabhicharena, somebody who's very loyally with complete allegiance to me only serves, to that person I'm easily achieved. Then he says so many times, he says aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam. Those who worship me, Buddha bhav samanvita, they are the most intelligent people. Buddha bhav samanvita. And he says, then in the next verse only, he says, Matchita madgat parana bodhyanta parasparam kathyantascha mam nityam. So kathyantascha mam nityam, they're talking about me, they're discussing about me every day. Mad chitta mad gat parana. So they're always thinking about me. They're always in my consciousness. Mad chitta. Mad chitta means Krishna consciousness. Mad chitta. Prabhupada has taken Krishna consciousness word from these pages of Bhagavad Gita. Mad chitta means my consciousness or Krishna consciousness. Buddha bhav samanvita. They are the Buddha. They are the Buddhiman people, not the Muda. They are the Buddha. So there is a word called Buddha, the intelligent people, and Muda. And whenever he says those who surrender to demigods, this may be very heavy for some of you, but there is no other way to translate, to interpret Bhagavad Gita, but to do it properly. And then Krishna is saying, Ma mekam. So that's why Krishna is saying, come to my shelter, my surrender only to me. Keval bhakti, ananya bhakti. He says, ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. Ananyas chintayanto. Jo ananya bhav se mera chintan karte hain. No other, we have no other Lord other than you, Krishna. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham abhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. To those I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So when we say we are not able to overcome our mind, we are not able to overcome our intelligence, we are very we get angry very easily, we have so many temptations, we have so many desires of this world that we want to enjoy. So Krishna says, I will carry what you lack and preserve what you have. So whatever weaknesses or limitations you have, I will overcome them and I will carry what you have. So I will help you with your strength. I will even increase your strengths more and diminish your weaknesses and limitations. Your problems I will diminish. So I'll carry what you lack and preserve what you have. So Krishna gives these promises himself, Ma mekam. So this is the meaning of word mam. And there's so many verses throughout Bhagavad Gita. He says, Janam karam cha me divyam. Aham yo veti taktva tyaktva deham punarjanma naeti mameti so Arjuna. He will achieve me, O Arjun. So constantly Krishna says me only, my only. So mam he uses many, many times to say that I am the Bhagwan and I am the one that matters. I am the one that you need to come to. I am the one who can protect you completely, who is your only maintainer, who's your only friend, who is your only proprietor and parent and lover and caregiver and everything, source of all sources and cause of all causes. So that is me, Mam. He says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yuddhyascha. Dude, at all times, remembering me, fight your battles. So in this world, when we're fighting with so many duties and so many activities and so many roles and so many so-called dharmas, then remember me and fight. So tasmat sarveshu kaleshu, at all times, ma manusmara, mujhe yaad karke, yuddhyascha, yudh karo. So he says the word mam many, many times. That's why I wanted to highlight this, that he's saying mam ekam sharanam vraja. So you're not going in anybody else's shelter. You have he is my teacher, he's my provider, he's my parent, and I'm going only to his unto his shelter. Sharanam vraja. So come into my shelter. So Sharanam Vraja is the word that I really want to take today, because this is the most important words, the phrase of Bhagavad Gita, Sharanam Vraja. Sharanam, we read a song today called Sharanagati. Sharanam can mean shelter or the word surrender. Vraja means to walk or to stay in the shelter, to go. It means walk with me or walk according to my will, basically. to stay in my will. Or it is commonly translated as surrender unto me. So Prabhupada translates as surrender unto me. So now please pay attention, because let's dissect this word, Sharanam Raja. Now surrender, this word surrender, when we use in this world, it has a very negative connotation. Like cops will come to catch you and they say surrender and you hands up, right? It sounds like that, ki surrender kar diya humne police ko. Like that. It has a very negative connotation. Like we have been defeated by somebody. We have been caught in something, doing something bad. So we to surrender. That's surrender. Aisa lagta hai. Surrender gives a very negative meaning. But actually, in spiritual connotations, when we use the word surrender or shelter, it means shelter. It means going into the care of somebody. It's a motherly shelter. Like when a child goes into the lap of his mother, and mother covers him with her dupatta so that he's completely protected in the embrace of mother. That is called surrender. That is called shelter, in which the child is thinking, I'm completely protected. Nobody can harm me. He does not care about any other duties, activities, role playing. He's completely at bliss. He's completely surrendered to the will of his mother. Ki jo bhi, whatever my mom will do. Kahan se aapka khana aayega? If you ask the child, where will your food come from? I don't know. My mom will give me food, right? आपको घर से निकाल रहे हैं. Where are you going? I don't care. My mom will take me somewhere. I'll go with my mom. So he does not care. I don't have you don't have food, you don't have a place to go. I don't care. I have my mom. She will take care of me. So he doesn't care about anything because his mom will take care of everything. So he knows that. He's crossing the road holding the hand of his mom. So many buses and cars are coming at a very high speed. He doesn't care because he's holding the hand of his mom. My mom will protect me. I don't care. Okay, so the bus is coming at full high speed. Fine, I'm in the lap of my mother. It's up to her to whether she walks slowly or runs across the road. I'm in her lap. So the child doesn't care. That is surrender. That is shelter. That I'm completely given to the authority of my mom. I'm completely given to the authority of Krishna. Whatever he does, rakho bhi maro bhi jo ichha tohar. That is called surrender. So surrender in spiritual life is a very, very sweet word. It is very beautiful. It is out of love. So let me share, let's try to write this because I don't know how to explain this without writing. Let's write here. So now, when we say in material world surrender, it makes us think that we are helpless. We are powerless. Like a thief is caught in an act and police says surrender. So he's become very helpless, powerless. But typically this type of surrender happens by force, at gunpoint, by force or coercion. But in spiritual life also, when we are saying we are surrendered, means we are also rendered helpless. We are also powerless. Okay. We are also without any other resources, without any other help in this world. And this position of being rendered helpless and powerless in this world is called a kinchan. So, meaning a person who has become materially impoverished, meaning he knows that in this world, nobody can help me. Nobody in this world, nothing in this world can help you. There is no lawyer, no insurance agent, no police, no government authority, no parents, no teacher. Nobody can help me other than Krishna. That is called being completely helpless, completely powerless. Okay. And that position is called being a kinchan. Can somebody give an example of some akinchan people from scriptures? When somebody had become completely powerless, helpless, they could not. I'm thinking everybody here can mention at least one person.
Draupadi?
Draupadi, yes. She asked help from all her husbands, and the teachers were sitting there. The king was sitting there, and the grandparents were sitting there, and nobody can help. Nobody can help. Right? So she was completely akinchan. There's nothing in this world can help me. Okay, yes, Agni?
Gajendra.
Gajendra, yes, Gajendra. First of all, he used his own strength, his own bodily strength. to fight with the crocodile. He thought, I'm so strong, I'm an elephant, I'm the Gajraj. He was the king of all the elephants. And he was not just king of these earthly elephants. This pastime is taking place in some other planet. So he was a king of like a heavenly elephants who are very, very powerful. And he thought, I'm so powerful, I can just fight off this crocodile. But he could not get his foot out of the mouth of crocodile. Then he looked at there were so many people, so many elephants. His whole family was standing there at the pond. Nobody could help him. Nobody could help him. Everybody was just crying, looking at him because nobody could help him. So he was also rendered a kinchan, completely powerless. Yes, Vedi.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj, yes. He was completely powerless because he was also bodily powerless. He was only 5-year-old boy. He had he knew he had no bodily strength. He had no army like Hiranyakashipu did. He had no money, no treasury to back him up. He had no men at his beck and call like Hiranyakashipu did. He had no power, no resources. He could not call some people and say, okay, gundon ko bula ke maro Hiranyakashipu ko. No, he had no access to any of that. So he was completely powerless. His own mother could not help him. Hiranyakashipu had told his wife to put poison in Prahlad's kheer. His own Bua, Hiranyakashipu's sister, Holika, was instructed to sit with Prahlad in the fire. And she would not protect him. She was also against him. Everybody was against him. He had nobody to turn to. And there was only one person he could turn to. Right?
But here, Mataji, would Arjun be this example too?
Yes.
No?
Yes, Mataji, yes. Arjun, who thought he had so much prowess, so much intelligence, his Gandiv he had trained to, he was trained to fight in all directions. He could shoot the arrow in all directions. And he was somebody who had, in the same body, human body, he could go to heavenly planets and spend time with his father Indra. In even that, Arjuna was completely bewildered. He was overcome by his own mind, his own intelligence, his own limited understanding of this world. He thought that these are my relationships. How can I kill them? His own emotions, that his own sentiments that were materially, he was basically thinking from material viewpoint. So his own mind and intelligence had failed him, right? So he was not failed by the lack of, he had army at his beck and call. He had strength, he had weapons, he had everything. Such strong brothers, but his own mind was failing him. So even the Gandhi was falling from his hand and he was trembling and sweat was dripping and he was shaking and hair was standing on end because he could not imagine the huge loss that he was about to have, the huge warfare that he was going to indulge in and kill so many people. He could not emotionally reconcile with that. So emotionally, he was being defeated. Yes, so he was also rendered a kinchan. He had nobody to ask at that point of time when the war is about to start in a few seconds. What other examples of somebody that's completely a kinchan? They have nobody else to turn to. Let's hear from someone. Vinita, are you available? Rekha Mataji, Nirbhay Prabhu, any points any personalities come to mind?
Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruv
He
Maharaj.
went to the forest, like his own mother could not help, father could not help. So he just went to the forest to take shelter.
Yes, perfect. Dhruv Maharaj. Who else wants to share? Let's mention the names quickly. Our scriptures are full of the personalities that have surrendered. So unless we know their names, it's hard to, because the whole concept of surrender is very difficult to explain. But by these stories, we can understand. Yes, Avni Vaidya, let's hear from you again.
Sita Mata.
Mother Sita, yes, wonderful. Since you mentioned Mother Sita, let me put a verse. I think I had the verse. This one. एकाकिनी दण्डका काननान्तात् सानीयमाना दशकन्दरेण सीता तदाक्रोशादनन्यनाथा गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति. So Mother Sita had nobody to turn to. She did not have any help. So in Akrosh, with akrosh, with very dismal, with very intense cry, having no other lord. She knew no other lord than Raghunath. She cried for his help. Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. So Mother Sita, yes, very nice. Okay, I can think of a few. I can say, how about Shabri? Shabri was completely a kinchan. She had left her house. She belonged to a very low caste. She had no beauty. She had no intelligence. She had no powerful family to help her. Birth-wise, her birth was very low birth. She had no proper clothes. She had nothing, basically. She was completely a kinchan. And then she went to serve in her guru's ashram. And one day, Guru and all the disciples also left. Then she was further rendered a kinchan. She had nothing but to follow the instructions of her guru. Her guru had given an instruction that you have to stay and wait for the Lord and he will come one day and you just stay here. And that's all. She was hanging on to the instruction of her guru, but she was completely a kinchan. She had nothing else, nobody else, and no hopes for future, no dreams, nothing, but only the instruction of her guru. She was completely a kinchan. Who else was a kinchan?
Draupadi.
हाँ द्रौपदी बोला था, I think वैदिक ने बोला था. Yes, Madhavi. और कोई? Any other example?
When we think of any of the pastimes, all the pastimes pretty much seem like that. Like if you think about the fruit seller, didn't have anything, nobody was buying fruits. If you think about Vrindavan Vasis during Govardhan Leela, like there are no others, nobody else to save them.
That's why I was saying everybody can mention one or more each, because all the examples in scriptures are nothing but of complete surrender, because only completely helpless, powerless people can surrender. As long as you think that you have something in this world that can save you, you're not a kinchan. As long as you're relying on your spouse, on your family, on your wealth, on your lawyer, on your doctor, on your insurance agent, on the policeman, on the country, on the government, really you're not a kinchan. So complete surrender is very hard. Yes, Vinita.
Hare Krishna, I was thinking of Sudama.
Sudama, yes. How about Prabhupada? Nobody said Prabhupada. Prabhupada had nothing. Prabhupada had only 2 instructions from his guru that spread the teachings of Krishna in the Western world. And when you get money, print books. That's all he had. He had no money. He had no way to come to America. He went. We should really read Prabhupada's struggle, how he went door to door asking that I want to go to America. I somehow need to carry the instruction of my guru. I need to give Bhagavad Gita's instructions to the Western world. How do I go? He had nobody to take him. He had no way to get there. And once he even got here to USA, he had nothing. He did not know what to do. He did not even have proper clothing for the winters, for the storm, for the, imagine the winters of New York. He was walking in his dhoti in the winters on the streets of New York. He was completely a kinchan. He had nothing going on for him. He did not know what to do, where to go. He would just sit with his kartal and play kirtan in the Central Park. So Prabhupada, the best example of being a kinchan who had nothing. His family was not supporting him. He wrote multiple letters to the government. They were not helping him. All he had was his guru's instruction that he was carrying in his heart. What about, has anybody heard the story of Avanti Brahman? One day we need to read the story of Avanti Brahman. Who here knows the story? The story was told by Krishna to Uddhav. When there is a beautiful account given in 11th canto where Krishna recites Uddhav Geet. It's called Uddhav. Just like Krishna, you know how Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, Krishna spoke Uddhav Geet to Sri Uddhav, his wonderful devotee. And in that Uddhav Geet, he tells the story of Avanti Brahman. Avanti Brahman was like us, well, like me, I can say. He was very evil person. He was a miserly fellow. He will not help even his relatives with money. He was working extra hard all day, just making so much money, and then he wouldn't even spend that any money on his kids or his wife, and he was treating everybody badly. He was very horrible dealings with people, very crass person, okay, like that. So this was this man, and he was a Brahman, but he had no Brahmanical qualities. He was a very Kali personification, basically. He was like a typical person of Kali Yuga. And what happened with this Avanti Brahman, how he became a Kinchan, that's the story. And we can read about that one day. But if you know about this, this is also an example that comes in scriptures. So there are so many examples of people that have been rendered a Kinchan. And Mother Kunti, also an example of being a Kinchan. She says these beautiful verses in her prayers to Krishna. When Krishna, after the war, was leaving for Dwarka, she tried to stop him and she was offering him many, many prayers. These are 3 of the verses that she says in that prayer. She says, Vishan Mahagne Purushad Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanmas Kritrita Mridhe Mridhe Anek Maharathastrato Droni astratas chashma hare bhirakshita. She says, Vishan, आपने हमें विष से बचाया, महाअग्नि, आपने हमें उस महा आग से बचाया जो आग लगाई थी दुर्योधन ने उस घर में. Purushad Darshana. Then we went to forest and we came across all these rakshasas and demonic people. You saved us from them. Asat Sabhaya, in that the Asat gambling match, in that Sabha, the gambling Sabha, you saved us. Vanvas Krichrita, Vanvas ke time pe aapne hame bachaya. Mridhe Mridhe Anek Maharathasrato. During the war, there were Anek Maharathi who could have destroyed us within a few seconds. You saved us from those Anek Maharathiyon से आपने हमें बचाया. द्रोणी अस्त्रतस. द्रोणी is द्रोणाचार्य पुत्र अश्वत्थामा का जो ब्रह्मास्त्र था, उससे आपने हमें बचाया. ओ हरि, आपने हमें हर स्टेप पे बचाया. You protected us at every step. And you know why Krishna saved them at every step? Because they were always, even though when Yudhishthir Maharaj and they had everything, they still lived in a way as if they were a kinchan. They were completely surrendered to Krishna. Even when they were kings, they lived in a way that nothing belongs to me. All this jewelry or clothes or all these fancy things that I have and all these family members and all these are your property, Krishna. They never thought of them as their own property with enjoy tendency. They always knew that these are for Krishna to enjoy and they're just given to us right now for a certain duty, to align this duty with Krishna's duties, with Krishna's purpose. And that is called dharma. That's why he was Dharmaraj, because he knew how to align his daily duties by pleasing Krishna. So because they were daily remembering Krishna, because they were unalloyed, pure devotees of Krishna, that's why Krishna saved them at every step in their life. So then Queen Kunti says, Vipada santu tashashva tatra tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam yatsyad apunar bhavadarshanam janmaishwarya shruta shribhir idaman madhapuman naibharti abhidhatum vai tvam akinchana gocharam. That आपने हमको विपदा दी, बहुत सारी विपदाएं आई, नहीं आपने नहीं दी, सॉरी, शी सेज, जो भी हमें विपदा मिली उसमें आप भी मिले हमें. Every time we saw a problem or difficulty, we also saw you. And so if it means that with every difficulty you will also come, then I would rather have all the difficulties in this life, because it means that you will also come. And by looking at you over and over again, we can get across this material world. And what is the point of having Janma, Aishwarya, great intelligence and opulences, Shruta and Shri? Shruta and Shri means the great intelligence and the great opulences. E Dhaman Madhapuman, they only give you mud, they only give you pride and illusion. Nai Bharti Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam, that you are completely revealed to those people, or those people are able to surrender to you that have been rendered Akinchan, that have become helpless in this world. So helpless does not mean that we are defeated by this material world. Helpless is a mindset. It does not mean that I'm helpless by this material world. It means that I'm helpless because only person that I truly rely on, that is truly my maintainer, my caregiver, my protector, is Krishna. When a true problem comes, only and only Krishna can help me. And it may seem like other people are helping you, but they're just instruments of Krishna's service. So Krishna uses people to help you, but only Krishna sends people to help, or resources to help, and I on my own have no power, no resources. So this is one understanding of surrender, that we are completely a kinchan. And then let's just take a little bit more, then I'll stop. So one thing is to understand that we are helpless. Then the next thing to understand is, this is the first thing, that we are helpless, powerless, resourceless. Nothing in this material world can save us. This is the one thing that will help us to surrender. Second thing to understand is Krishna's three qualities. Okay, there are three qualities that Krishna has that none of us have. Nobody in this world has. What are those three qualities? First quality, Krishna is a complete knower. Meaning Krishna is completely omniscient. He knows everything. He knows the past, present, and future. He is the only one that knows everything, that has the complete eternal vision that we don't have. Like Krishna says to Arjun, that Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. That I know the past, present, future, everything. So many lifetimes we have spent together, and I know about all of them, and you don't know about any of this. He says that I'm the complete knower. Vedeshcha sarver aham ev vedya vedant krit ved vid eva chaham. He says, I am the complete knower of the Vedas. I know everything. He says, whoever understands me, that I am the complete knower, sa sarva vid bhajti mam. Okay, sarva bhavena bharata. That person will completely surrender to me. So know that Krishna is complete knower. We are not. This is one quality of Krishna. Second quality of Krishna is that he is our only well-wisher, truly our only well-wisher, our only friend in this world. Okay, Krishna says that I am Suhrida Sarva Bhutanam, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapsam, Sarva Lok Maheshwaram, Suhrida Sarva Bhutanam, Gyatva Mam Shanti Vrichati, that I am the only true friend that you have. Okay, so other people can try to be a friend. You know, we say friend in need is a friend indeed. But actually, they can only try, but they cannot be the complete true friend, because they cannot protect us all the time. They don't know what is best for us all the time. They may give us some understanding, some advice and guidance based on their limited knowledge. But and they may have, you know, they have very material vision typically. So they cannot be a true or only well-wisher. Krishna is the only well-wisher. And even if somebody is your well-wisher, like your parents are your well-wishers typically, but even they cannot go with you after your death. When you die, the parent cannot go with you, right? So even if they are your well-wisher, they will still have to, go on a different journey, and the soul has to go on a different journey. So, but the only person that can accompany you even after death is Krishna only. So that's why he's the only well-wisher who accompanies you in every body, whether you go in the body of an insect, an ant, a worm, a plant, anything, or a demigod, he accompanies you everywhere. So that is another thing to understand. And the third thing is that Krishna is infallible, which means his other name is Achyuta. Achyuta means infallible, meaning he cannot commit errors. Krishna does not make mistakes. Krishna cannot make mistakes. Why? Because he's absolute truth. So this is his perfection. These are the three perfect things about Krishna that we cannot have. So we have these imperfections, that we are not complete knower. Krishna is complete knower. We can try to be somebody's well-wisher, but we are not the only true well-wisher. Only Krishna is the true well-wisher. And we have a tendency to make mistakes. We have a tendency to fall down, commit errors. We are error-prone. Krishna is not error-prone. He cannot make mistakes. So these are the three things that help us to surrender. How? Okay, let's understand how. So let's go to the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So Arjun said to Krishna, please take my chariot to the middle of the battlefield. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapayame achyuta yavad etan niriksheham yodhu kamam avasthitam. Senayor ubhayor madhye, please take my chariot to the middle of the battlefield. Ratham sthapayame achyuta, O infallible, please take my rath, my chariot, to the middle of the battlefield. What does this tell you about Arjun? This verse, what does this tell you about Arjun? Who can answer? Give me some qualities of Arjun. There are at least 4 or 5 I can think of by this verse. He's telling Krishna to take him to the middle of the battlefield. What is Arjun thinking at this point of time? What are some of the qualities you can think of? I can start to give you an example so you understand what I'm asking. So Arjun is thinking right now that I'm in control. I'm in charge of this battle. Let me see what's going on. He's telling Krishna what to do, not the other way. So that's one quality of Arjun you can see. What else comes to mind?
I'm not sure, Mataji, but when he went in the middle of the battleground, and then when he was looking at his uh, family members, and he just wanted to give up the war because he didn't want to kill his friends, his family, and he actually at that moment did not surrender to Krishna. That's why he wanted to stop.
Yeah, so that's right. So he was, so first of all, he thought I'm in control. Okay, I can handle everything. He thought he knew everything. Like we always think we know everything. I know what is best for me. So he's also thinking, I know everything. I know what is best for me. He thought he did not need any help. I can take care of things. I'm a very great warrior. I can take care of things. He thought I can take care of everything. I do not know help. I do not need help. I know everything and I'm in control. This is what he's thinking about himself. So he's very materially accomplished right now. Okay, I can do this type of attitude. So he has right now material viewpoint. He also did not know what is best for him. Like you said, he was thinking more about his family members and all. So he did not really know what is the best thing to do. But he thinks that he knows what is best for him. Now here is, so this is a journey. So surrender is called a journey from this verse 1.21. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapayame achyuta. Here Arjun was in control. He thinks I know everything. He thinks I can take care of things. I do not need any help. To the verse 2.7, where he says, what does he say in verse 2.7? Yes, Abni, go ahead.
Should I recite the verse or tell the translation?
Tell me what, so what, do you understand what we're talking about right now?
What Arjun, like how he surrendered unto Krishna in 2.7?
Yeah, so I'm talking about how initially his thoughts was Senayor Ubhayor Madhye, that you take my chariot to the middle of the battlefield. So before he was instructing Krishna and he was thinking, I'm in control, I can handle everything, I know everything. And then he reaches the point where he realizes, I don't know anything, I need help, I need guidance, and he surrenders to Krishna. So that is 2.7. Yeah, so go ahead. What does he say in 2.7?
He says, Karpanya dosho bhata swabhava prichami tvam dharma samudacheta yakshreya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste hamshadi mam tvam prapannam.
So this is called surrender, where he says, I'm a soul surrendered unto you, Krishna. Please help me. Please guide me. I don't know what to do. You are my spiritual master. So like that, he surrenders to Krishna. So initially he was trying to control the situation. He was in charge. He was in control. He was a knower. And now he has come to the point where he understands, I don't know. I cannot take care of this. I don't have the power. I don't know what is best for me. I may be making a wrong decision, and is very doubtful right now. So that's the time when he surrenders. So this is called surrender. So this is the second point about surrender, accepting that you don't know things and that you need help. So understanding that only Krishna can know completely everything. He's the well-wisher, he's the friend, he can guide us, and accepting that we are not the complete knower, accepting that we are not the knower. We don't know what is best for us, that we need help, we need guidance, that we need to go to temple, we need to go to the shelter of devotees, we need their instructions, we need to sit in the class, we need to read books, we need to learn about who we are and what is our relationship with God. So accepting this is called surrender. This is where the word defeat comes in, where we understand where our material viewpoint is defeated. So our material viewpoint gets defeated, where we think we are so amazing and we know everything, or we are complete proprietor and complete people can help us. That type of situation, when we come out of that and accept defeat, that is why the word surrender comes in. So surrender in this world means defeat, but defeat by being defeated from the material standpoint and accepting that Krishna is our complete protector, maintainer, and that we are not the knower, we need help. That is called surrender. So accepting defeat from the material viewpoint is called surrender. Accepting higher reality is called surrender. accepting the higher truth, that there is something more. I am not just this body. Accepting higher reality is called surrender. So this is, again, this is not completely the definition, but this is part of the definition of surrender, that we are helpless. We have become akinchan in this world. We understand that Krishna has these perfect qualities which we don't, and accepting that is part of the surrender. Then there is much more, but I think we are running out of time, and I want to hear from people because I want to hear some realizations, since this is a very important topic. If you speak, you will be able to understand more. So who wants to share? Let's hear from maybe Namita Mataji, Poonam Mataji. You want to share something? Okay, nobody's sharing. Is anybody else that wants to share anything? Okay, who wants to hear a few more minutes, and who wants to wrap up the class and we can continue next time? Because I have a feeling everybody's busy doing something, and so since this is an important topic, I don't want to continue unless everybody's fully engaged.
I want to hear some more.
You want to hear more? Who else wants to hear 5 more minutes?
Yes, Mataji, I want.
You want to hear? Okay.
Mataji, always hearing you is always good. So
Okay, we'll do 5 more minutes. Okay, so let's take a little bit further. So we said accepting the fact that you don't know things, accepting that fact that you need help is the first step of surrender. So there are 3 verses that come. Okay, the first verse was, we just did 2.7, Karpanya Dosho Pahata Svabhava, where Arjun surrendered to Krishna and said, I want help. He asked for help. So Arjun said, please guide me, please help me, please guide me. I don't know what to do. I'm very doubtful about my situation right now. Okay, so he asked for help. So this is the first step of surrender, asking for help. Okay. Then in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives a second step of surrender in the verse 7.14. Second step of surrender is when he says, Devi hi esha gunamayi mammaya duratyaya mamevye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So he says, okay, I will help you, but you have to follow this process. Okay, I will help you, but you have to follow this process, because otherwise my Maya is very powerful and it will overcome you. This is what we were talking about in the beginning of the class when I was asking you that our mind and intelligence will overcome. So what should we do? And this is the answer I was looking for, that we have to follow the process on a daily basis. So Krishna says, Devi hi esha gunmayi mam maya duratya. My Maya is very powerful. It will overcome you on a daily basis. It will overcome you. It will defeat you on a daily basis. So you have to follow this process, a spiritual process. There should be a process of sadhana bhakti. So you have to perform sadhana bhakti on a daily basis, where you are purifying yourself, trying to connect to me somehow on a daily basis. Whether you read Shastra, whether you associate with devotees, you hear from them, or you perform deity worship, or you sing some prayers, or you recite Bhagavad Gita. Do different things to connect to me. Otherwise, my Maya will overcome you. So this is the second step of surrender. So first step is accepting defeat in this world, becoming helpless and asking for help. Okay. Second step is, once somebody gives you the help, then start following that process. Okay, the help means to follow the process. So किसी ने आपको हाथ बढ़ाया, कुएं में गिरे हुए हो, आपने पहले you shouted I need help, हाँ, आपने चिल्लाया, तो किसी ने आपको हाथ दिया, तो पहला है चिल्लाना, पहले चिल्लाओ कुएं में से. Okay. Second is, then somebody will give you the hand. So you have to hold the hand, you have to grab the hand. Okay, you have to grab the hand. So this process by which you are trying to climb up the rope that they sent you, that rope is called sadhana bhakti, that they send down the well. Okay, so Krishna has sent down this rope to get us out of this material world. That process that he has given us, you have to follow that process. अब कोई कहे मुझे बस निकाल लो, मैं बस चिल्लाऊंगा यहाँ खड़े होके. No, that is not going to help. You have to follow the process. So you have to chant daily to connect to Krishna. You have to read Bhagavad Gita. You should associate with devotees. You should listen to their instructions. Try to apply the process. Try to do some services. And that is called grabbing the rope that has been sent down the well. So follow that process. That is called, otherwise the Maya will overcome you. The water of this well in which you are drowning will drown you. Okay. So Krishna says, my Maya is very powerful. It will drown you unless you follow the process. And then comes this last verse of 18.66, where Krishna says, now you have reached my hand and just hold my hand and come out. So this is the last step. This means complete surrender unto Krishna. So right now, when we are in this phase, so dear devotees, dear friends, we are in this process of sadhana bhakti. We are following the process. We have not reached Krishna. This is the process where we are reaching Krishna and we are seeing the person that's helping us and we are surrendering unto that person directly. We are letting him embrace us. We are letting him lift us out of the well. That is the 18.66. That is the last step. Okay. But this surrender right now what is happening is we are trying to climb the rope, but we keep slipping and sliding and we are failing and we're not able to really get up. We're not really able to climb up. The other person is helping us. Some we are trying to lift with our own effort. तो थोड़ी दया, थोड़ी कृपा मिल रही है और थोड़ा अपने शक्ति से ऊपर चढ़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. But we are slipping and sliding, failing, and then climbing some more. Slowly, step by step, millimeter by millimeter, we are climbing up and up. But ultimately, we are making a forward journey back to Godhead. But what we are doing is following this process. And the reason we keep falling and failing a lot of times is because, like Mataji said, we don't have enough faith. We don't know those qualities of Krishna. We don't know that Krishna can completely protect us. We don't know that he does not make any mistakes. We don't understand that he's a true friend. That's why it is very hard to surrender right now. So to surrender unto Krishna directly is very hard for us. So what can we do? What can we do right now? We are not able to let go. We are not able to let go of our attachments in this world. So what should we do? We should do external surrender. हम लोग internally अभी surrender नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. So what should we do? We should externally surrender, which means when devotees tell you to do some services, do them, even though you don't have any faith. When somebody tells you to chant a certain number of rounds, chant them, even though you're not able to focus on the name, still chant. When Krishna says pay obeisances, then even though you don't feel like paying obeisances to somebody, still pay obeisances. So do external. So even though internally you're not sold, internally you have doubts, you have your limited intelligence and ego and mind is failing you constantly, still externally show the surrender, externally try to follow the process. And soon we will, we'll start understanding that actually Krishna is the complete knower. He's the only well-wisher, he's the only friend. So external surrender is what we can do right now. And this surrender is needed on a daily basis, actually. Even the external surrender is needed on a daily basis. You have to surrender to the process. You have to surrender to Guru and devotees' instructions on a daily basis. You have to surrender to deities or holy names on a daily basis. So the surrender has to be practiced daily, and it can be just external for right now. But we should keep following the process, and ultimately we can reach to the point where we can surrender to Krishna directly. Okay. So when I was asking what is holding us back from surrender, the surrender that is the problem that is holding us back is basically we are not following this step one. Step one or step one hai or step two hai. We are not following these step one and step two properly. We are not crying for help properly. We are not a kinchan yet. We think we have a lot to do in this world. We have a lot to enjoy in this world. We have a lot of attachments in this world. And we are not asking and crying for help properly. Secondly, we are not following the process properly. So these are the two things that are holding us back from complete surrender. So since we are not following the process intensely, we are not tapping into the mercy of Krishna properly. We are not tapping fully into the mercy of books and devotees and Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, because we are not letting go of this world. We're not letting go of anarthas, of our bodily designations, bodily roles, bodily upadhis. And so we're not able to go deep into this process. And so we are not getting full realization of Krishna. So these three qualities of Krishna are not getting revealed to us. We are not understanding this full personality of Krishna, these three qualities of Krishna. Since we don't have this realization of Krishna, we are not able to surrender. So this, because we are not doing these first two steps properly, we are not able to surrender. So we have to really remember that Krishna is our best friend. Krishna makes no mistakes. He's perfect, and that he is the only one who knows everything about us. Nobody else does. He's a complete knower. Sometimes we think maybe he doesn't know. He doesn't know what to tell. How can Krishna help me? He doesn't know me enough. He does not know my situation. So that's why we tell Krishna, Krishna, mere liye ye kar do. Krishna, I want promotion in this job. So we tell Krishna what we want, whether it's good or bad for us. We don't know. We just ask Krishna. That's not the right way to do things. We should not tell Krishna what we want, because that's we have a very limited vision, and we may be asking for things that are not good for us. So we should let Krishna decide. Jo Hari Ichha. Prabhupada always used to say Jo Hari Ichha. So unless they are spiritual desires, we shouldn't really ask for material things, because we don't know how harmful those material things may be for us. So we should not tell Krishna our plans. We should follow his plans. If you tell him your plans, which are good perfect according to your limited intelligence, most likely we will fall on our face. But if we follow Krishna's plans, who knows the past, present, future, and who knows what is best for us, then that is the best thing to do. So then we will rise up. So that's all I have to share. We'll stop here. Okay, let's take some questions, please, or reflections. Yes, Avni, you wanted to share something?
I heard Krishna Mataji. I really liked that point, like where you broke up like the 3 verses and how it's like the step by step of like you call out to Krishna and then he like gives you his like the rope or whatever, and then you like accept it and then you climb out and he meets you there. I really like that point. I did not know about that.
Yeah, surrender is not easy, and it's not a one-step process. It's actually multiple steps, but this is the grossly 3 steps that it can be broken into. Yeah. And so complete surrender is not happening, like I was saying, because the step 1 and 2 are very much missing for us. We're not doing those properly. So we're not fully letting go. You know this song, right? Let it go.
Yeah.
You have to let it go. We're not letting it go.
Yeah.
So that's causing us bondage and holding us in this world. Yes, very nice, Vadi. Thank you for your realization. Who else wants to share anything?
Mataji, I also liked how you're dissecting each and every, in the verse, each and every, I don't know what it's called, words or whatever, but I like it and it's easier for us to understand.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, we'll take this more, Mataji. This verse needs one more class at least. But today I just wanted to spend on surrender. And understand the 3 qualities of Krishna, our imperfections, how we need to become helpless, how we need to stop taking shelter of the things of this world and of our limited mind and intelligence all the time. Take guidance from the devotees who are spiritual well-wishers, who know Krishna, they're closer to Krishna, ask to them for help, because they are the representatives of Krishna in our life. So then you can walk with Krishna's will, you can do his bidding. So
Mataji, can I?
yes, Mataji.
What you said about crying for help, I think that's so true. Because when we cry for help, Krishna sees it, or जैसे आप हमेशा बोलते हो कि हम एक step लेंगे तो Krishna will take 10 steps towards us. So I think that kind of summarizes everything, is like you have to take that first step, and then he will come to you. और जैसे आप आज सब बोलते हैं हमारे पास time नहीं है, ये नहीं है. So I think once you start doing it, it becomes a habit, and then you want to do it more and more. So we have to take that first step, no matter how hard it is. It is going to be very hard. It is very hard, but you have to take that first step, and you will see that, he clears that ways for you. He makes those ways for you. So, you have to cry for help, and he's going to clear it for you.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, thank you very much for sharing that. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna. I was thinking that really on this journey of Krishna consciousness, it's like everybody has their own journey, but the goal is the same. And we may be at different points in this journey. But at every step of the journey, it's not that the person who's only starting has difficulties. Even somebody who's ahead of you in the journey or behind you in the journey, they have their own difficulties and they're having their own obstacles. But Krishna is there helping each one of us at every step. So we need to have that faith that Krishna is will help me. He has helped millions in front of me, millions behind me, he's helping. And we just need to have that faith and keep going and keep holding the hand of Krishna. Because if we do not hold the hand of Krishna, then there is no chance of progress on this journey. So to keep going ahead towards the goal, we have to surrender and take the help of Krishna. And the pace may be different for different people, but eventually you are moving towards the goal. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, thank you. This is the verse that I was saying in the very beginning of the class, on which Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote that song of Sharanagati. It said, Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishaytiti vishwaso goptritve varnam tatha atmanikshepa karpanne. Which means Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam means do the things that are favorable for Krishna Bhakti and give up the things that are unfavorable. Rakshishaytiti vishwaso. Remember that Krishna is the only protector. Goptritve varnam, meaning that he's the only maintainer. Atmanikshepa, completely submit yourself to him and become completely humble, insignificant, wretched, and materially destitute. Basically, karpanne means akinchan, become completely materially impoverished in front of Krishna. So those are the thoughts. So let me just say one or two more things before we end this class. And since we are running late, please chant on your own. Next Sunday when we do the class, it will be Kartik. So please try to attend. We'll finish this verse. So in this verse, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, very important verse 18.66. First of all, dharma is not just your own purpose. Most people are just fulfilling their swadharma only, with which they completely identify, and they're only fulfilling those temporary purposes of their body. That's not called dharma. That should be done balanced with the Sanatan dharma. We should not waste all our time on those temporary purposes, on those temporary roles, and go beyond those roles to the sense of who we are. Try to understand your relationship with Krishna. Secondly, understand Krishna's three qualities, that he's the only well-wisher, he's the only friend, and he's complete knower. He's infallible, he will not make any mistakes. And knowing all this, we can follow the will of God. Will of God, your path of God is called dharma. And when we follow that completely, helplessly, spontaneously, then we can achieve surrender, and that is called shelter of love of God or love of God. We can achieve by following the Sanatan Dharma. And the process of dharma means process of Krishna consciousness, and it has to be practiced on a daily basis with faith, with humility, accepting our defeat in this world, accepting that there is a higher truth, that there is a higher reality, and accepting that we don't know everything, accepting that we need help, and start following the process. So following the process is what is most important, and I think is missing in our lives, that we're not diligently following. So then we'll continue from this verse next time. So we'll have a part 3 on this discussion. This will be talking about fear, how Krishna says, I will deliver you of all the sins and make you fearless. So we'll talk about that next time. Thank you everyone for joining. Vancha kaltarubhischa kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya namo namah. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Jaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.